Tap that screen. What's going on? Y'all go ahead and tap that screen. Share it live. What's going on? Let me see who I can get in the building. Boom. Let's pop it out. And we got some articles to prove it. Straight out the Smithsonian. You know how y'all like to do. Y'all don't want to believe. Y'all don't want to read. Y'all don't really just don't want to know. But you gonna know today. Like Cat Williams said, you gonna learn today. You gonna know today. Y'all smash that like so we can get it started. What humans do. Who could have been here that long ago? You know? What? Tucker Carlson got fired? Dang. I heard him saying some bullshit lately too. But normally Tucker Carlson be on fire. Well, during the pandemic, he was on fire. Oh yeah, they need a $5 limit. Y'all on point. Y'all know everything. Oh shoot, we got a hate in the building. Yep, down limit definitely trash. Jared Springer, the king of controversy, died. Anybody ever notice that Jared Springer never made a mockery of his people? You know what I mean? Because those trailer park people were not his people. The blacks, the LGBT community, those are not his communities. He's a Zionist. You never seen him making fun of his people. If you had some followers, you can get up here and show me something, but you just talking, Garcia. So calm down. I don't want to mute you, bro. You know what I mean? I want to give you freedom of speech, but we get treated like real life where I try to, stop you from speaking. Or I just leave. And I ain't leaving. He said, Jared Springer did a good service. He did absolutely no service. Zero good, I say that. Yep, they were fake. Yep, I could have went to Jared Springer. I know a crazy girl that wanted to go. And she wanted to make up a story. I had to find a friend to try to agree with it, but we ain't do that. We ain't do it. But she wanted to do it. And Jared Springer wanted us to do it. He didn't give a damn. The story sound believable. He just wants you to come on there and act it out. The more view you get part of the views and everything. If they put you on the DVD, you get more money. Yep, all that. Oh, we got hosting. Let's see who else. Okay. See, y'all ready for me to go ahead and pull up some more screens? Which path did you take? Mm. Yep. Y'all going in by Jared. Mm. See, this is showing you all of the migrations into America. Not theories. These are definite migrations into the Americas. Yeah, the continents are still together. There was just more land bridges further back you go. You know, like they say, the oldest city in Virginia, where they find settlement, they say it's literally 400 feet underwater on the coastline of Virginia. So further back, the waters were very much more shallow, you know, before the melting of the glaciers. Mhm. So like you seeing that 23,000 years ago coming from over there by Europe, yeah, that would be, you know, when the waters were more shallow. For real. So these are all the migration patterns into the Americas. As you can see, Beringia, nobody literally came beyond Beringia until, you know, about 13,000 years ago. They're saying 15 just to give you a good cap as far as, you know, estimation. But Beringia did not populate the Americas. There was already life in the Americas before Beringia. Oh yeah, we definitely lost a lot of land due to melted ice. I'm gonna show you. Let's pull up some of these articles. All right, I like this too. Mm-hmm. They ran about everybody out of here now. They don't want y'all to get this knowledge. Do you have a mute button, or do I have to mute you? He said teaching. I'm reading. I'm sharing the information. I'm not making no conclusion. So, like they say, about 17,000 years ago, if we go back to that map, I can show you places or routes that we took before 17,000 years ago. Right? 17,000 years ago, sea levels were nearly 400 feet lower than today. The shoreline along which the Paleo Indians could have walked was 50 to 75 miles further west than the modern land water edge. What we call the shoreline is miles into the land. The shore would have been 50 and 75 miles further out there into what we call the reaches of the ocean now. Right? Many of the original campsites of those immigrants are deep underneath the surface of the Pacific Ocean. But parts of the ancient Pacific Ocean shoreline have bounced back after the ice sheet retreated, and the weight of ice was removed. The oldest Atlantic Ocean shoreline campsites in Virginia are 400 feet. You said it's called Earth. Yes, who is we lost a lot of land? Earthlings. You don't understand? Earthlings had more land 17,000 years ago. Pay attention. We, humanity, Earth itself. But anyways, all right. The oldest Atlantic shoreline campsites in Virginia are 400 feet beneath the ocean surface, drowned by sea level rise. But some of the oldest campsites in Alaska, British Columbia, and the Pacific Northwest may be on dry land due to land uplift. Discovery and research into sites along the Pacific Ocean could provide evidence of the migration. We got in the building. Some of the oldest campsites in Alaska, British Columbia, and Pacific may be land. How you doing now?
Greetings. How are you?
Alrighty. Greetings. How you doing, sis?
I'm wonderful.
Can I say hi?
My daughter that chooses not to go to bed wants to say hi to everybody.
Greetings, princess. Greetings.
Hello.
He said greetings.
Greetings. Can
Uh,
they see me?
No, because I don't have the camera on.
Please.
No.
yeah,
So what's the topic? I was just coming in to see what you're
yeah.
talking about.
That's my bad. So I just pulled you up. But yeah, it's the
Anyway, we're
I'm in the
Indians.
Pacific migration model right now, showing life in California up to 130,000 years ago.
Okay.
You know, that's why they say some of the oldest people in America fit the description of the Australian Aborigine. You know, so
Oh, okay.
you know how they look, and they find
Yeah, I
those
learned
same
about
type
them
of people
some
in America.
years ago when they talked about what they did to take them off the planet,
Hmm.
the horrible atrocities that took place.
You just.
Hmm. Exactly.
He's asking, is there still enough ice to turn the planet into water?
Pretty much. Pretty much. Yep. It's dangerous. It's thousands of icebergs up there in between Canada and Russia. Thousands.
I
So
can't.
we don't want to
Oh,
imagine we don't want to imagine if those icebergs melt. Like they say at the end of the last ice age, if you can see the Laurentide ice sheet that I got on the screen, the Laurentide ice sheet covered pretty much all of Canada.
okay.
And there
I
was
see that.
so much ice that it was a land bridge all the way to Europe, pretty much. All of Greenland. I say that water. They say it was icebergs in between what we call it Iceland, Greenland, and Europe that was so large, like they would have been like bodies of land. You wouldn't have known the difference. You'd have just seen hundreds of miles of ice. You wouldn't have known that it was an iceberg.
Okay.
But literally, these are routes that they took.
So who are the people you're saying the routes that they took? Like, are you saying people that look like us?
Yeah, these are actually, yeah, these people actually came out of Europe. and they were the first Europeans that they like to call like the Cro-Magnon man. They'll show you a dark skinned person with good hair, so to speak.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just like the Australasian,
Yeah, I've seen like
the Australasian that they're saying that we favor, or that they say first came to this part of the world.
okay.
What you gonna say, sis? Oh, you've seen it. Yeah,
No,
you know what I'm talking about.
yeah,
Yeah,
I was
the
just
dark
saying
skinned
I've
people.
seen like pictures of those people, the original Australians. And well, it's still some, it's not like they're gone or anything because I've seen people
Not at all.
that are the original people there.
Mama, Mama, can you check how much percent the pink phones are?
No, I will not.
I want to charge my iPad so bad.
You know, like people used to think that Beringia populated the Americas. You know, Beringia is where the Native American he came from Siberia. The people that we call
Would
Native
that be
American.
like the Bering Strait?
Yeah,
What
the Bering
they
Strait.
always talk
Yeah,
about?
yeah. When it was a land bridge, when it was completely iced out, it was called Beringia. So they crossed
Okay.
through Beringia. That's why they're, all of these Native Americans are considered the Alaskan natives. They're literally, they stayed up there up until
Mm-hmm.
America pretty much
Hmm. Mm-hmm.
treaties with them and brought them down all the way even to Mexico. You know? So these Alaskan natives are the people who crossed through the Bering Strait, right?
Right.
And it was hypothesized that these people populated all of America, but they were like, hold up, there's evidence of life in America way before the Bering Strait opened up.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, hold up, that means they're not the people who first populated the Americas.
Too soft.
Exactly.
Mm,
Too soft.
yeah,
Let's try one more bite.
But that's the story they give us.
What
yep,
story?
yep, exactly.
What
Yeah,
story?
your boy keeping it true. Your boy down.
He said, I think the majority of them are Spaniards.
when there's when there's other types of dating, right? So literally this cosmogenic nuclide exposure dating to prove that the continent had already been populated when the corridor was still frozen over. Research is now leaning in favor of the so-called Pacific Coast migration model, mm, which proposes our ancestors traveled along the coastline instead. All right, Jeremiah, calm yourself down, man. Have some self-control. Yeah, Zing He. Zing He traveled to the Americas 1419 or 1421. You know, well before Columbus. Columbus literally used the same map as Zing He to make it to America. Exact same map. What you got going on, Marcus? That's your first comment, so it was a wild comment. I don't get what you're saying. Yeah. I like that. That was fire. You wouldn't get far. That was a fire comment, brother. I'm gonna follow you. Know what I mean? That brother got a brain. All right, let me put another one up there. Y'all can't see I'm making it up. It's you too, brother. Even though you just in the comments, I appreciate you. Man, get some followers, man, so I can pull you up here. Jeremiah. Oh, you got a long ways to go. Man, Jeremiah need 991 people to go live, man. What's he talking about, y'all? I mean, crazy. If I had the newspaper, that's what you would say. He ain't got nothing but newspaper info, y'all. Let me see. Maybe one of y'all people want to get up in here. Y'all come on up. Let me see. All right. All right. But yeah, all this debunks Beringia or the Bering Strait populating the Americas. I mean, you the real Alaskans. No doubt about it. What are you talking about? Hmm? You the first person jumped in the snow, man. No doubt about it. I can't compete with you on that, bro. You know what I'm saying? That ain't where I came from. It might have been a couple brothers over there, but I wouldn't want to. Oh, you say no, it doesn't. It doesn't what? It doesn't debunk that Beringia, people from the Bering Strait, the Alaskan natives did not populate all of America. Yeah, it proves it doesn't. Right? Using this rock clock, well, I was just speaking on, it wasn't radiocarbon dating, it was a different nuclide testing. Oh yeah, this a nut. Y'all get that guy out of here, man. That's why I got moderators, man. What y'all be doing? Y'all could have hit him upside the head a long time ago. All right. Using this rock clock, Clark's team was able to date the opening of the ice-free corridor to about 13.8 or 13,800 years ago, give or take 500 years. Even with the gracious margin of error, the study proves that the corridor did not open until after North America was already populated. We have closed the door on the ice-free corridor study. Co-author Dylan Rude announced in the aforementioned press release, adding they had successfully put the Clovis first theory to rest. You know, they had to revamp the theory to make it facts. It wasn't facts when they thought that no life was here until the Bering Strait. You want to see some links? Show you, had some fun with it. I mean, I ain't think I was hiding it. Trying to tell me I'm hiding it, huh? What we got here? What he said? I told you we dealing with the Smithsonian. I know you're gonna cry foul. You're gonna cry foul. Oh. The new study suggests, however, some type of hominin species, early human relatives from the genus Homo, was bashing up Mastodon bones in North America about 115,000 years ago. Damn, this boy is crazy. Just don't go overboard, man. But I see you crazy. Anyway, that's a staggering early date, and one that is likely to raise eyebrows. There's no other archaeological evidence attesting to such an early human presence in North America. I realized that 130,000 years is really old, a really old date. Thomas Demir, principal paleontologist at the San Diego Museum of Natural History and one of the authors of the study, conceded during a press conference, of course, extraordinary claims like this require extraordinary evidence. Demir and his co-authors believe that their discoveries at the Cerruti Mastodon site, as the area of excavation is known, provides just that. Yeah, we know they ain't the most trustworthy people, but hey, it's just some evidence that we can't debunk. Like they say, Mastodon schematic showing which bones and teeth of the animal were found at the site. I'm going back. What they say? Cali. Yep, there's more ways to date bones and stuff than just radiocarbon dating. Like they say, attempts at radiocarbon dating proved unsuccessful because the bones did not have a sufficient amount of carbon containing collagen. So researchers turned to uranium thorium dating, a technique that is often used to check radiocarbon derived dates. Uranium thorium dating, which can be used on carbonate sediments, bones, and teeth, make it possible to date objects far older than 50,000 years, the upper limit of radiocarbon dating. Right? Using this method, scientists were able to assign an approximate age of 130,000 years to the Cerruti bones. While the study's authors believe that their evidence is ironclad, other experts aren't so sure. Brian Pobiner, a paleontologist with the Smithsonian Institution's Human Origins Program, says it is nearly impossible to rule out the possibility that bones were broken by natural processes like sediment impaction. Oh yeah, a boulder rolled down off the cliff, smashed him good. The worms ate him out. I get you. Yeah. I appreciate you. Appreciate y'all hitting that like. See, I got the God CEO in the building. For sure, y'all tap that screen. I appreciate you. All right. Yep. You know, they never went beyond 30,000 years, and that's still a great amount of time. That's the Clovis Tools and the Clovis Theory. They basing this off the Clovis Tools that were found in New Mexico, which obviously is not far from California. And I'm showing you right here how California had life over 130,000 years ago. There should not have been any humans in the Americas until about 30,000 years. But now scientists have found conflicting evidence of a much older human presence in an animal skeleton. Yep. Yeah. So they're saying they were not the Homo sapiens, who they say didn't exit Africa till 80,000, 100,000 years ago, right? But that still leads a wide range of candidates, including several other hominin species that roamed Eurasia 130,000 years ago, the author said. They include Homo erectus. Homo erectus literally been around for at least 5 million years. They're talking about 2 million, but you can look it up. They're saying 4 and 5 million years all the time, even 6 million years. So that's a long time to have been walking upright in the Pacific, with all the coastlines being so low, so shallow. There would have been many ways to walk here. Like, even if people just were not scared to boat over shallow water, they could have easily used the old Atlantic coastline, which I'm gonna have to show y'all. Hey, you keeping it real? Got it. That's what's up. Inner Earth. Anytime I think about a cave, I think inner Earth. Because who knows how far it goes into the Earth. Wow, that's real. See, that's like the Yakub story. How Yakub was kicked out of the inner world, the inner earth. They say the people in the earth live forever. They were immortal, so to speak, or they knew how to heal one another to the point they didn't have to die. They were so good at healing and prolonging life. So the people who came above had a time span. Down there they didn't have a time span. So when Yakub and his crew came up, they lost their immortality. Yep. And the crazy thing about it is Yakub created the Tamahu. Where is Tamahu? Tamahu is in the Yucatan Peninsula. It's a place called Tamahu in the Yucatan Peninsula. That ought to tell you something, you know what I mean? Hey, CEO, I appreciate you, King. For real. You need to come up here and build with me before I step down. Let me see. Pull up some up. All right. Of course, discarding the Clovis first model means that researchers must once again confront the intimidating question of when and how ancient humans arrived in the Western Hemisphere. As popular support for one hypothesis decreases. What? I didn't know you were banned, bro. That's messed up. I appreciate your support, though. As popular support for one hypothesis increases, interest in another arises. Right? Clark's article leans in favor of the Pacific Coast Migration, or kelp highway, model, which proposes that America's earliest settlers traveled down the Pacific coast rather than the heartland of Canada. Mm-hmm. So obviously this should show you that Lemuria existed, or should I say Mu? I apologize. Even Lemuria, but yes, I'm speaking on Mu because it was in the Pacific, and there would have been a lot more land on the coastline, what we're calling the coastline of the Pacific. It would have been, like they're saying, 50 and 75 miles from where we call the coastline now. And that's going for those regions of the world as well as America. So there would have been a lot more land reaching towards one another. Right? Due to rising sea levels, the coastline along which these primordial pioneers may have originally journeyed is well out of our current archaeological reach. So we basically can't even study these regions because they're deeper underwater. So much erosion of the shoreline and the old, old land. The old land is washed away more than it's ever been washed away. So, due to rising sea levels, the coastline along which these primordial pioneers may have originally journeyed is well out of our current archaeological reach. Still, excavations from different parts of the world, including evidence of maritime transportation in Greater Australia, which may have been colonized by people using watercraft. And we know who the original Aboriginals are. And they said it was colonized by people using watercraft as early as 50,000 years ago. That's why they're telling you the original and oldest people of the Americas fit the description of the Australasians, or aka the Australian Aboriginal. Right? Make the Pacific Coast Migration model look equally if, what is it? if not more probable, than the Clovis first hypothesis. Yeah. You know, the Clovis first hypothesis was literally coming all the way from France, 23,000 years ago. I'll put that whole map back up. Yeah. Yes, I ain't gonna lie. It was a lot of different books, but you can find a lot of this on the Smithsonian website. I just use a couple of others just to verify, or just, you know what I'm saying? Not to show any bias. But this was the Clovis first theory, dealing with the fact that with the Laurentide, with the help of the Laurentide ice sheet, and massive glaciers in between America and Europe, that people literally walked here over at least 23,000 years ago. From there, right? Oh man, it's tons of more scholars, brother. For real. Make sure you follow my page. We're getting into that. I'll probably do a whole video on that. I'm talking about one still living, you know, and even the greats that's gone. For sure. So literally, thanks to the Laurentide ice sheet being frozen over up until about 15,000, 13,000 years ago, it started to finally melt. But before then, we were able to literally go back and forth from Europe, right? And the Clovis tools matched tools from the Stone Age found in France, South France, 30,000 years ago. So the Clovis tools match the same tools, and the Clovis tools are pretty much that age. So it's like they're older than Beringia up here. This 15,000 years or 13,000 years, 12, is not old enough to have populated the Americas. You know, it's not old enough. Literally, there was already life here well before that. Mm-hmm. You see, even this Pacific coastline, Pacific coast migration up here, but that's still not older than, well, yeah, that's 20,000 years ago. So we was already reading how 17,000 years ago, all of the waters were a lot more receded. The coastlines were 50 and 75 miles further off. You know, the waters were at least 400 feet more shallow. So that would make a lot more land. Yep. Come on up, Savage. All of these migrations are facts. Every last one of them. Not theories. And none of these been proven wrong. Man. You funny, man. But even so, brother, you're not listening. He hard headed. I see you trying to say something. You ain't paying no mind to what I said. What I'm saying. I just told you, man, the Clovis Theory and how the Clovis tools match the exact same tools from the Stone Age that were found in southern France. Isn't that the Iberian Peninsula? The Iberian Peninsula isn't just Spain. It was all of that area. All of that was the Iberian Peninsula. Come on, man. So you halfway right, but you're like, I'm not saying that. You just put it in different words, brother. The Iberian Peninsula, the first peoples came first from the Iberian Peninsula. You don't see that arrow showing you that? Do I have to zoom in on it? You don't see that? That area is literally the same area you're saying. You know what I mean? So the Clovis tools are the reason we have those dates that you're speaking of, bro. I don't know, maybe he didn't hear nothing I was saying. But we saying the same thing, but I'm saying more than that. So I definitely was saying that. I'm not, I ain't tripping. Right, hold on one more. All right. Like, once again, I'm going to have to start from the top because I know people wasn't here, but what I'm saying is about 17,000 years ago, sea levels were nearly 400 feet lower than today. The shoreline, along which the Paleo-Indians could have walked, was 50 to 75 miles further west than the modern land water edge. Many of the original campsites of those immigrants are deep underneath the surface of the Pacific Ocean, but parts of the ancient Pacific Ocean shoreline have bounced back after the ice sheet retreated and the weight of ice was removed. The oldest Atlantic Ocean shoreline campsites in Virginia are 400 feet beneath the ocean surface, drowned by sea level rise. But some of the oldest campsites in Alaska, British Columbia, and the Pacific Northwest may be on dry land due to land uplift. So they were able to go that direction when we were, as I was retreated. It's just how the earth kind of operates. It's like the teetering and tottering, of these bodies of land. So discovery and research into sites along the Pacific Ocean could provide evidence of the migration. Underwater research may also illuminate the past. England and Scandinavia were connected by a land bridge until about 8,000 years ago. Even England and Scandinavia, because we know England sits off like an island. It's a peninsula. No, it's an island. But literally, England and Scandinavia were connected by land bridge until about 8,000 years ago. And archaeologists are exploring for evidence of human occupation in Doggerland, which is now underneath the North Sea. Yep, some people be joking too much. Human migrations continued between Siberia and Alaska even after the ice melted. Sea levels rose, and the continents were no longer connected by a land bridge. Glass beads from Venice have been discovered at an archaeological site which was dated to 1397, or what they say, to 1488 near Kotzebue, Alaska. The beads were prestige trade goods which had been transported from Venice via Silk Road. Let me make sure I can see all that. Over 1397 to 1488 near Kotzebue, Alaska. The beads were prestige trade goods which had been transported from Venice via the Silk Road to China. Evidently, kayakers in Siberia carried the beads over 50 miles across the Bering Strait. Assuming the archaeological date is correct, those Asian travelers reached North America long before Columbus sailed the ocean blue in 1492 to the Caribbean. Travel to North America by boat could have been a common experience ever since the Ice Age, not a new travel mechanism developed by Vikings or later Europeans. Yeah. Yeah, I got rid of them. You know what I mean? And you know we got haters, but we got some real ones in the building, so that's all that we're going to really focus on. Yeah, just a matter of fact, I just got off that screen. Yep. And they say that Chicoite Cave joins a half dozen or so other excavations from Central and South America that predate the opening of the ice-free corridor, which we call the Bering Straits. So equally ancient remains were found in the Andes Mountains, the Amazon Basin, the Patagonian steppe in Argentina, and on the Caribbean coast. On the evidence of these early archaeological sites from more than 13,000 years ago, yet another literature review echoes the Clovis first model must be discarded. Of course, discarding the Clovis first model means the researchers must once again confront the intimidating question of when and how ancient humans arrived in the Western Hemisphere. As popular support for one hypothesis decreases, interest in another arises. Clark's article leans in favor of the Pacific Coast Migration or Kelp Highway model, which proposes that America's earliest settlers traveled down the Pacific coast rather than through the heartland of Canada. Due to rising sea levels, the coastline along which these primordial pioneers may have originally journeyed is well out of our current archaeological reach. Still, excavations from different parts of the world, including evidence of maritime transportation in Greater Australia, which may have been colonized by, they say, people with watercraft. And we know what the original Australian Aboriginals look like. Australia, which may have been colonized by people using watercraft as early as 50,000 years ago, make the Pacific Coast migration model look equally, if not more probable, than the Clovis first hypothesis. These are other studies that argue the Clovis first hypothesis was incorrect. In the past few decades, archaeologists in South America discovered evidence of human settlement on the continent that is much, much older than Clovis Point. Bone, charcoal, and sediment samples recovered from Chicoete Cave in north central Mexico by the Autonomous University of Zacatecas in 2012, for instance, were dated to 26,000 years, but may be as old as 33,000 years old. So all of these things predate the possibility of Beringia, or, the Alaskan natives populating the entire Americas first. Yeah, it would have been these Australian or Australasians. Yeah, I agree. Big kosher. I agree. They Turks. Most definitely. Because what we call in Siberia would have actually been the first Turkey. People don't understand they invaded what we call the Middle East. The Middle East was invaded at a specific time, specific date. But prior to that, like when there was the kingdom of Tartaria, there was the, literally Turkey was up there, right next to Tartaria. What we call in China would have actually been the Turks. That was their first kingdom until they invaded the Middle East. Now they have a slightly different variation, but they're the same people. Exactly. You on the same thing, kosher. I'm with you when you're right. I don't care who you is. You know what I mean? But you definitely telling the truth. Turkish. The Turkish. It's the ish part, huh? But it's crazy how literally the bird, the turkey, is indigenous to America. Ain't that something? You're right. That's the whole point of this bill. I was talking about the Pacific Coast migration. Yeah, I already sent you an invite. I don't know why it ain't working. Oh, we got some Moors in the building. Peace to the gods. Oh shoot! Don't get mad, girl. What I lied about? I'd like to correct that if possible. But I really don't. I can't see where I tell the lie. And I definitely can't see where I made up nothing on my own. You know, I'm not pulling this out of my hat. Let's go. Yeah, y'all should definitely know what I mean when I say the Clovis Tools. Hmm? Yeah, they are. They are. You on point. Who said trust everything? What it is. Check everything. How about that? If you truly question everything, then you have to do some research. Not just once. To do something once is not research. Re means again. So people use that word loosely. But if you're looking for the very first time, you're just searching. You're not researching. It's a difference. So you got to search again and again and again and again. Don't think you know it all already. There's no such thing as absolutes. No such thing as absolutes. Dang, he said Asian came from the Native Americans. I've actually read that theory too, though. I read that theory. All life came from America, and the Asian race literally started in America. I don't know, man. I tried to invite y'all. That's crazy. You probably got to follow me as a friend first. I know that. You probably got to follow me. Once you follow me, I guess I can let you up. Dang, hey, that's crazy. My likes went down. My boy had me at 3.8. How the heck? I should have screenshotted that. I thought Homo sapiens came from Africa. You forgot? Do you call yourself a Homo sapien? Or what are you? Some hominid? What are you? Let me know. Since we bringing up Africa. Where you from? Kosher? Oh, shoot. Oh, boy. Oh, no. But you representing different parts. But I don't know where you're from. But yeah, I definitely guess I'm a little different. I definitely research all of that. If it wasn't for ancient maps, I wouldn't really know that. The ancient maps prove that the real kingdom of Turkey was what we call China. So even the Ming Dynasty and all of that, I look at as they're just Turks. That's it. Oh, even Uzbekistan, and he confirming what I'm telling y'all. So you literally from Tartaria. Unless that's Germany. I'm pretty sure you're in Russia, though. If that's not Ukraine. Same thing. It's all anciently Tartaria. Or should I say Old Scythia, since I want to say anciently. Anciently, Tartaria is Old Scythia. Scythia, Scythia, Skytes, Scots, Scan. It's all the same. That's real. Yeah, they definitely got a huge DNA pool. Put it like that. Because I'm pretty sure Genghis Khan was a dark man coming from the Ganges River. Where there was a lot of dark Hindu, right? Dravidians, Indo-European. Indo means Indian. What they tell you are the first Europeans, the Indo-European. So you're talking about these dark Dravidians. But think about Hindu, they have a high propensity for producing albinos. So hence we have the Dravidian albino. Hence we have the Caucasus Asian, the Rus Asian, the Melanesian, You know, Australasians. We have all the, you know, we have the plethora. Huh? Hold on a second. Do a second. Hold on. Yep. Shoot, I didn't hit a guest request on all y'all. They ain't working. That's crazy. I guess TikTok want me to get down. They always do me like this. It'd have been cool to build up. But these some great comments. Nah, you ain't got no followers. I done seen your face around them. That's crazy. For a person that ain't got no followers, I ain't seen you around. Mm-hmm. But yeah, y'all need to check out your boy Kosher. That's why I'm glad we can all speak English so we can share certain knowledge together. Because I don't speak another language to be able to too much build with y'all. I mean, I could try some Spanish, but take it slow. Yeah, I know, man. You picking all kind of videos. It's all good. I just wanted the Indian sound, man. Hey, you rough, boy. Mikey B, boy, you're rough. I'm gonna let you on. Come on, man. Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with that. Yeah, yeah. I got so many videos. You probably gravitated to one of them. That's why. Just like how Mikey picking on one of my videos. Yeah, I appreciate the likes. This a meme I made a while back. Man, what you mean, man? We everywhere. You better believe that. You better believe it. What happened to the dread-headed Aztecs and the dread-headed Mayans? Tell me that. Riddle me that. Y'all see this meme I made a while back. This during the pandemic. Woo-ha. Got you all in check. What you mean? You can't even say America has the word more in it. What you mean? Even when people go on the old maps and pull up Tamerica, Tamer, all that, Tamare, all that means Moors. Ta meaning land. Yeah, land of the Moors. It's a little sacred etymology for you. Let's see. Exactly. What's going on, Melanated Soul? I appreciate it. Yep, El Maroc. Yep. Al Maghrib. Al Maghrib, Al Aqsa. That's where we get Alaska. What you think? We gone? The Moors ain't gone. We landlocked. We're not able to truly move around like we used to. You know, they'll call you a pirate, like they do in history. They scorn the historicity of all these people by calling them pirates. You know, Napoleon was a pirate. They don't call him that in their textbooks. But they'll call it Barbary. They'll call those people pirates. Yes, sir. That's real. Yep. Even these original Tartarians, you know, in David Matt Ritchie's book, Ancient and Modern Britons, which was published in 1901. Like, he was a researcher that spent a lot of his life in Europe learning all of the culture, right? And he literally spoke of how the Tartarians were swarthy, blubber lip with high cheekbones. You feel me? These were archers, horseback riders, right? Sounds a lot like what we call Indians. That's why I say the Indo-European and everything. But when we dealing with Tartaria, we dealing with some, blubber lips. Yeah, it's like that. But when we dealing with Tartaria, we dealing with high science, high civilization, high technology. Like, these people had the cannon in BC times. Like I said, when they were old Scythia. This is why the Bible even speaks of cannons and things like that before the cannon was so-called invented. Before fire or gunpowder was even so-called invented. Because they were the only people who had it. It hadn't gotten to the rest of the world. It escaped our grasp, even though it's still in our grasp. It's in all people's grasp now, the gunpowder. I wouldn't say everybody was dark, but it was definitely a melanation. You know what I mean? The civilized, what we call them, the heads of civilizations. The heraldry, Moor refers to heraldry. So Moor didn't refer to no peasants or anything. So you'll hear people say that we're not all Moors because they're saying that they're not royalty. If you descend from nobility, if you are nobility, you are Moor. Noble means knowledge. So in the ancient world, you had to have knowledge to be royal, to be considered royal bloodline or royal anything. That's why we say royal bloodline, because we're talking about intelligence. To be intelligent, it means you have intelligence. Genetically, your intel, you feel me, is what makes you great. Yes, sir. Peace, brother, peace. Yeah, that's fine there, brother Valentino. Bismillah. Peace to the guys. I'm finna go ahead and tap out. I'm glad I was able to tap in with y'all. You feel me? It was all love. You know what I mean? But don't let them keep y'all in check. You feel me? Woo-ha!